Hey guys, welcome to Footy Fetish, episode 11. We are joined today by my co-host Harry. How you doing, Harry?
I'm very well, my boy.
Brilliant. And we have a guest today, Ollie, a returning guest at that as well.
Back.
How's it going?
Yeah, good mate. Yourself?
Nice. Yeah, all good here. It's been an interesting week. We haven't really caught up with some of the fixtures and things that may have happened over the last few weeks of football. So we have quite a lot of games to really sort of get through and have a look into. I thought we'd start by just going back and having a look at some of the games that have happened. But before we do that, how is everyone? Everyone enjoying? How is everyone collectively?
Everyone is good.
Everyone's ill, which is why we're all at home.
Wow. Really? Why?
Anyway, but I mate, man flu. The man flu pandemic has been raging for hundreds of years.
No one's talking about it.
That's it.
Right.
How are you?
Yeah, no, I've been an interesting few weeks for mainly football, as this is a football podcast, you know. But other than that, it's just cracking on with every day, isn't it? Just wake up, same day, go to bed. But
it's like Groundhog Day at the moment.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Literally, yeah. And this is the only thing breaking it up. And some of our listeners, it may also make their week a bit better. So hopefully we just keep entertaining them. But anyway, so we're actually going back to the 26th of January, which was a Tuesday. I just wanted to look at some of these games just because some games were decent, some were average. So the first game that I'm looking at is the Crystal Palace West Ham game. Now, it's unfortunate we don't have Alfie here today, so I'm sure he would have a lot to say about this Palace game. So it ended up 3-2 to West Ham, but I'm pretty sure Palace were actually up before West Ham. They got a goal before.
Oh, third minute, so yeah.
Yeah, third minute goal. That's a bit crazy, actually. Palace, I think, have been in quite good form in respect to how good Palace are and aren't in both hands.
Yeah,
that situation.
But then again, you look at West Ham and their current form, and they're smashing it at the moment.
They are doing really well. I don't think they're that far off of
not at all.
Fifth or sixth.
2 points. They are fifth. They're 2 points behind you, Mark. But
which is crazy.
Everton and Spurs got a game in hand behind them. Spurs are unlikely to catch them, but Everton probably will overtake them.
West Ham have been quite a good team this year, quite a different team, haven't they? I think obviously Souček and Antonio have been the ones to really stand out in a team of quite a lot of potentially decent players. I know I've got Cresswell at the back of my FPL team, and I'm not going to lie, he's been quite a consistent player. I've also been thinking about switching out and getting Souček in my team as well. But what do you guys think about West Ham currently then?
Yeah, like you said, they're playing really well at the moment. A lot of my family are West Ham fans, and I'm the only one that's not. So, they're all quite happy, I think. But credit to them, I guess. They're playing really well.
Where did they come last year? Yeah, what happened last year? Jesus, it's where they mid-table team.
I will have a
look. Because they came 16th. They finished.
I don't know why West Ham.
Year.
I was saying this to someone yesterday, but West Ham just have an inexplicable amount of fans everywhere. I don't know why. My mum's side of the family are West Ham fans, and they've all been born and raised in Reading. I don't get it. They're everywhere. West Ham and Newcastle, for teams that don't win anything, have an extraordinary amount of fans all over the country.
How long have those two teams been around though? Quite
a long time.
A long time.
Largely,
I think going back to what you guys were saying last week about obviously like Green Street and that, I think films like that definitely sort of skyrocketed the whole the Chelseas and the West Hams, all that sort of stuff, but Newcastle even with goal as well. Sort of big films that have, I think, probably gained them a lot of following. And obviously you think about all the sort of firm activity that they used to have back then as well. I'm not really surprised they've got quite a big fan base.
I mean, just for our listeners, if you're wondering what the hell we're going on about with football films, last week we did a sort of a top 8 which is kind of a weird number to do because 5 wasn't enough. 10 was just too many films to watch. So we settled on 8, weirdly. So we've just rated the top 8 football films in our own opinion. If you haven't seen that, go and watch it and get some context about what we're talking about. Also, whilst we're on the subject, don't forget to like and subscribe. Obviously, you got to do that. But yeah,
hit that bell, turn those post notifications on.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I do think goal had probably quite a big influence on a lot of people becoming Newcastle fans, as well as Green Street, because it's probably more glorification than is probably necessary for two teams. But equally, in respect, those teams have been quite, around for quite a long time and probably do deserve a bit of respect and do have a lot of fans. But anyway,
that's a really good point, because I was wondering where all the Everton fans are, because they're like a even bigger team, if anything.
Yeah,
in the Premier League longer, but particularly goal, especially for our generation, I think is probably a good point about Newcastle fans.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, it's a good film. You can't hang on. It's one of the classics for us as a football film. But yeah, and I think if you haven't seen it, go give it a watch. It's pretty good film.
Actually started watching it again last night. I finished your podcast last week's, the episode that you just released. Finished that last night, and thought, you know what, I've got to watch Goal now. And I probably got about half an hour into it before I fell asleep because it was already quite late. But yeah, equally as good film as I remember. But,
great review, Ollie. Jesus.
Yeah. No, it was quite late anyway. But
no, I'm joking.
The first act is so different to the rest of the film as well.
Oh yeah, massively.
But yeah, Palace. Now they've got some decent fixtures ahead of them. They could really see themselves moving up as well, because I don't think Palace have been in that bad form lately, especially with Eze on the ball now, looking good. I think Zaha might be out at the moment. I don't think he's playing currently, so I think that will affect Palace quite a lot, because I think they lean a bit too much on Zaha to get the team by, which is great because that means they've got a player that they can trust. But when he's not playing, you can't put Benteke up there, can you?
That's why they got Eze in. I think he's coming into playing quite a lot. The Newcastle game they played the other day, put a great ball in for Cahill's goal. And but yeah, he's showing more consistency now.
It's just I don't want a player like that to be snapped up by a bigger team and just not really get played.
Look what happened with Wan-Bissaka and United. He's pretty much gone under the radar until, well, he scored the other day, but he pretty much gone under the radar at United since he left Palace. He's not been spoken about like he was when he was at Palace. He was one of the best up and coming young talents in the UK, and now as soon as he's gone to United, a bit like what happened to Zaha, he just disappeared. And you think, oh, Wan-Bissaka, and you don't relate him to that sort of that Palace player that he was, that big influence.
But it's been pretty good still, but just like
he's just not getting the recognition he deserves, I don't think. But that's what happens when you go from sort of a smaller club to see a club like United when they've got some of the biggest stars in the world.
And one of the biggest clubs in the world as well. I mean, probably is quite a lot of pressure. But yeah, I don't want to see Eze get swiped up from one of those teams. I think if he could just stay at Palace as long as he can. I think it's kind of unfortunately, when you're in the position Eze's in, where he is just naturally really good on the ball and just a real good football player, that's something some of the big teams take as, okay, we can improve on this massively. And that's just when you see him disappear. But I just think he could do so much for Palace. It'd be good for football, wouldn't it? When you got a player who is good, comes through and stays at a team and actually wants to play for the club, rather than going, yeah, thanks for giving me the time, I'm off, see you later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping he stays. He looks like a really, really good player. Did anyone watch any of this match? I know Alfie would have watched this match, but obviously he's not here today, unfortunately. Did anyone see any highlights?
Is it the Newcastle match, or
no,
the
this
1 week
is
before?
The West Ham Palace match.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we might just quickly go through these ones, just because some of them look a bit boring, really. Yeah, I didn't watch any of the highlights. I don't know about you guys. West Ham Palace. It's not really a fixture you really.
No, I didn't see much about it really.
Fair enough. Anyway, moving on then. Newcastle Leeds. Now Newcastle have not been in great form. I think they may have lost all their last 5 games. Did they beat one recently?
I think they did get a win.
they get a win?
No, they beat Everton.
Oh, they beat Everton 2-0 on
2-0.
the 30th of January. Yeah, so before that, they had 5 losses in a row. They were not in great form. To then come back and beat Everton's a bit mad. But that the week we're talking about is when they lost to Leeds. Is this just me, or are Leeds better than what? Are they a better team than everyone thinks they are? Because I seem to think that they're a great team in great form, capable of beating anyone. But they're just. I thought they'd be way higher in the league. They're just
some weeks they turn up.
I just think defensively, obviously defensively they have issues, but
I
think
they're very hot and cold. I don't think they're consistent enough. One week they look like they're like a Leicester. They look like they're challenging for the top 4, and then the next week they look like West Brom.
Yeah.
So I just don't think there's that consistency there. But when they are on form, they look good, really good. It's like Bamford as well. He's smashing it at the moment.
I mean, their only target is to not finish in the bottom 3. Their only target is to stay up. And I think when you're in that position, I think the same with Sheffield United, maybe. Obviously, different story now. Like Sheffield United last year, they didn't have that worry of if they go back down. It's kind of expected for a team who's just come up to not really be prepared for the level of play that you have to bring to the Premier League. So Leeds are massively overachieving right now. Do any of you have it up where they might be sitting on the table at the moment? Just because it
11.
Yes, they're 11th.
That's not bad. That's not bad considering like this is what their first comeback in a while to the Premier League. Then it's not terrible. I think they're massively overachieving, but I guess they do have talent on that team as well, especially players like Patrick Bamford just banging them in, getting assists. Rafinha, oh my God, being a great player as well.
Yeah, they've definitely proven that they belong in the Premier League. 29 points, not got much to worry about at the minute by way of relegation. I mean, there's such a gap. There's not normally a gap like this for the bottom 3 to 17th. Burnley at 17th, probably the form they've been on, I wouldn't think they're going to go down. Newcastle might be looking over their shoulders a bit, but
yeah, they need to get some more wins or at least a couple of draws under their belt, really, just to get a few points and don't fall behind that gap from the looks of things. But anyway, moving on from that one, we have a nice win for Arsenal, 3-1 against Southampton. What's going on with Southampton?
They've dropped off. They looked incredible a couple of weeks, or even a month ago. They looked incredible, and now
are they the new
Spurs? Last couple of results?
Are they the new Spurs? Just completely drop off after Christmas? What's going on there? But Arsenal, though, on the other hand, I mean, besides other games, on average, good form. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're looking a lot better.
Yeah, scoring goals. You know, more than 2 at least.
Yeah.
Where's Arsenal sitting at the moment?
10th.
Not bad.
10th, yeah.
Not where you probably should be, but I think.
Well, no, but if we are 10th, but we're only 9 points off top 4, off Liverpool in 4th. So you think that's only 3 games, and the way Liverpool have been playing at the moment as well, they've been dropping points.
Yeah.
Sort of when they shouldn't be.
Really
so
be.
Who knows?
I'm surprised.
I'm not going to say that we're going to challenge for the top 4, but like if you look at the points, it's not that big a gap. It is only 3 games.
You can definitely realistically challenge for Europa League spot.
Yeah,
for sure.
I believe so.
That's next. Villa, Chelsea, Spurs, Everton, West Ham.
It's not terrible.
It's a bit of a fight going on for that.
We love a mid-table scrap, though, don't we, guys?
Yeah, I'm being pulled back into it. We've got a top 3.
No, yeah, true. We've got a top 3. I mean, in FPL ranks, I'm at least a week ahead of all you lot, but that's fine.
When you win the league, mate, we'll speak then.
Now, what I hate, right, is this, you did this last year, Ollie. In the Fantasy League last year, I was top so long, pretty much the entire time, and then within the last 2 months of the league, you just was like, yeah,
I think the last sort of month or so before the Premier League got suspended because of coronavirus for a couple of months. I think obviously about a month before that, I was hot on your tail, and then I think caught up, and then obviously it was just nothing for months until
it
came
was
back.
me and you continuously gaining points, but obviously when I got points, you got points. When I didn't get points, you didn't get points. There was just no movement there, and it was frustrating. And I think you're going to do it again this year. I'm adamant. I've been top. There's only been one instance where Harry has pushed me out of first place for half a week, and then I went straight back up, and I'm hoping just to stay there, just to keep staying there. But yeah, anyway, moving on from FPL talk. City 5-0 West Brom. I mean, I don't like to see it, but
yeah. What would you expect, though, to be fair?
I know. But I feel like at some point, though, City have been amazing this season, as much as I hate to say it. But again, the people who are supposed to be challenging City, Liverpool included, haven't been that good. It's
I think this year's a bit weird. I think every team at some point has had a really sort of dry spell and a really like a crap spell of a really sort of bad couple of games. And I think City had theirs fairly early on, but now they've kind of kicked back into sort of form again, and they're just sort of going. Obviously, Liverpool started off quite well, but are now hitting a bit of a rough patch. Arsenal, obviously, a couple of months ago when I was first on the podcast, terrible. We're looking like we're basically fighting relegation. Every team at the moment as well, Chelsea and Spurs, they were the solid top four, and now they're obviously dropping down to the sort of towards the mid-table. So,
but I also think that reflects how close it is being this year. Like teams are dropping, every team's dropped points. Well, I don't know about every team, but most teams has dropped points where they think they really shouldn't have. But even some of the smaller teams have beaten some of the bigger teams when they shouldn't have. And I think we've got such a close, tight league at the moment. It's actually very entertaining. I mean, you can't really. It's really entertaining to watch because you're like this. Like usually after Christmas, you go, okay, well these are the top six. They're going to finish top six. Like look at these gaps. Like but now it's thinking Arsenal could easily within the next month be in a completely different position.
Yeah, exactly.
And same for Liverpool. Liverpool could swap with Arsenal. I don't know if that mathematically works out, but it could happen. And as the way it's going, it is currently bloody happening. But I think this has probably been the most interesting league in a while in terms of the competition of just top to bottom has been a little bit ridiculous. It's been entertaining. I think is just the only word I can actually describe it with.
Yeah.
But no, what are your thoughts on the league? Do we have any clear-cut winners in anyone's eyes?
I would say City, but I don't want to trigger you, Mark.
No, I mean, but even you say City, but again, all it takes is for them just to not really be in form for a few games, lose where they shouldn't lose, and
out of everyone, they're the only team to have won their last 5 games.
19 unbeaten now as well.
Yeah. Pep's not going to let this slip, I don't think.
It's not looking good for you, mate, I'll be honest.
No, it's not. It's not looking good for me. It started off great.
Yeah, they're not massively far ahead, though. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
And all it takes is a United or a Leicester to hit a rich vein of form, and then they can catch up not too long. But Liverpool playing City this weekend, that could be a big game.
City also have got a game in hand as well.
Yeah, that could be a bit of an issue. But I mean, it's starting to look like City will come out at the end. But usually when you get to this time of year, especially going into February, you really should be able to see who's going to win the league or who is challenging for the league. And I think at this point, it still can just be anyone's game. If you're top half of the table, I would say top final, top quarter, you still have a chance to really put it back and get a decent result this year. But my God, has it been a difficult one to predict, hasn't it? You just don't know who to have in your FPL team. It's just like, it feels like I've just got mid-table teams in my FPL league, just raking in the points, and somehow none of them are in the bloody top. Okay, so moving on to probably some more talk-worthy games. Where am I? Chelsea Wolves 0-0. Good for Wolves, bad for Chelsea. Sheffield United beating Man United. Where would they be if they got that win? Would they be joint top, or would they be top?
Yeah, they'd be joint top with City
ahead on goal, different old game in hand. See,
Yeah, and Golden.
That's probably another game we were talking about where you shouldn't see United lose, especially when they've just beaten Southampton 9-0. You shouldn't really see United lose to Sheffield United. It's not something. It's why it's been such an unpredictable year, because you could go into a game thinking this team's going to get slapped, and the inevitable happens and you are wrong, which is pretty much most of the time right now for me when I captain Salah, and I'm and I'm thinking, oh great, captain Salah against Brighton and we lost 1-0. Brilliant. Should have captained Bruno Fernandes. But anyway, yeah. But then I think while we were doing the last podcast, I think, when Liverpool won 3-1 against Spurs, which is, I think, goes back to the point of just the unpredictability, because the following week we lose to Brighton. So we beat Spurs 3-1, lose to Brighton 1-0. It's a weird consistency that I just don't understand. It's annoying for me as well, being a Liverpool fan, where you think you've just dominated Spurs.
You beat Spurs 3-1, and the next week was West Ham 3-1.
Oh, was it West Ham? I thought it was Brighton.
Yeah, no, Brighton's a week after.
Yeah, exactly. So looked like we were scoring goals back on our form, and then back to square one again, where we can't seem to find the back of the net. We can't seem to find the goal, because I don't think, against Brighton, I don't think there were really many shots on target, if any shots on target. Have one of you got the stats up for that? I was watching the game and it was just frustrating to watch.
Brighton game, sorry.
Yeah, Brighton-Liverpool game. It was just frustrating to watch. I was having an absolute nightmare.
11 shots for Liverpool, 13 for Brighton.
Jeez.
One of those shots for Liverpool was on target. 4 of which for Brighton were on target.
Just a frustrating game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The bad goal to concede as well from Alexander-Arnold. Poor bit of defending.
Yeah. I mean, I did read somewhere that apparently Liverpool haven't played 1 minute of the Premier League with a full squad, like first team starting, which I think really puts into perspective the position Liverpool are in at the moment with just the squad in general. Like, I feel like it's been ages since I've seen Diogo Jota play, and it's really frustrating just because how good he is at just finding the back of the net. I think we need that right now. We need Diogo Jota to come in, because Firmino is a good player all round, but I think everyone agrees he's not a striker. He's not an all-out striker, and I think what you get with Diogo Jota is if Salah or Mane aren't really finding their feet, can't find the back of the net, I'm pretty confident Jota will. I mean, he's a young lad. He puts power behind the ball as well. So I think if any player needs to come back from injury, obviously we've got Van Dijk up there, but defensively we haven't been terrible. A few mistakes here and there, but I think going forward is actually, weird to say, our biggest concern right now, because even though last few games we've scored 6 goals, like then we'll have a game against Brighton, 1 shot on target with arguably the best front three in the world, which it just doesn't add up to me. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to stop complaining about it, because I'm just a salty Liverpool fan. Just a salty Liverpool fan who's used to winning. Pretty
Sound
much.
like Klopp, mate.
Excuses. Anyway, let's rattle through some more of these. On to the next week. Newcastle actually beat Everton in a shock 2-0, which, as we were saying, Newcastle not in great form, but,
Yeah, fair play to them.
Palace getting a win against Wolves. Decent. It's definitely a fixture they probably went into not thinking that they could get a win. But again, Wolves haven't been that great. Really, really struggling without Jimenez in the team, I think. I mean, we've said it consistently on this podcast that Wolves have been that team who, when Jimenez was pulled out, obviously from that unfortunate injury, you're really starting to see that Wolves team struggle. And I don't know if they made any sort of transfers. We'll get into all of that in just a minute. Speaking of, it's probably best if we take a quick break, just so we can rejig some things and just catch up. We will see you guys in a very short minute. So the last thing we were talking about is just some of the fixtures that have happened. I think it's probably better if we just like push forward to just some of the more entertaining ones. Arsenal United 0-0 on the 30th, only a few days ago. A decent game. I mean,
I was quite happy with that. Being sort of, being sort of how we are at the moment. I wasn't too bad. I expected the worst, and it turned out all right.
Did you watch the game?
No, I didn't. I was.
It was pretty boring.
So that 0-0 draws never all amazing to watch. But when you need the draw, it's always good to hear, I guess. But yeah, not really much to add on that. You can't really add much on the 0-0 game. Yeah. Villa beating Southampton 1-0. Good win, I think. I mean,
very controversial win.
Yeah, I quite like Villa this year. Quite enjoy watching them, especially just watching the Grealish and Ollie Watkins link up. It's fascinating.
Yeah, Martinez in goal as well.
Yeah,
he's been playing really well.
Yeah,
apart from last night, but
yeah, true. No, it's just it seems that
can't stop Lingard, mate.
Every time there's a goal for Villa, 9 times out of 10, Grealish is involved, which is great from an FPL standpoint of view.
Yes, it is.
Chelsea beat Burnley 2-0. I mean, Thomas Tuchel's coming in and really starting to mix things up. Does anyone know who actually played in this one? So I think we actually may have commented on already.
Yes. So Mendy in goal. Oh yeah, well, Mendy in goal, Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, Rudiger, then Hudson-Odoi, Jorginho, Kovacic, Alonso, Mount, Werner, and Abraham.
Wow. Okay, so it's still quite a lot of rotation.
I completely forgot that Marcus Alonso plays for Chelsea.
Well, small reminder, mate. He plays for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Seems like the manager's now picking up the pace with Chelsea, and they're getting some wins under their belt from the looks of things, which is, I guess, good to see. But I just love it when anyone else but Liverpool lose, especially if it's a big team. I'm sorry, Ollie. Obviously, Arsenal is a prime example, but everyone loves it when Arsenal lose anyway. But no, it looks like Chelsea are starting to turn things around now, which is decent, I guess, for them. Leeds beat Leicester 3-1. A good win for Leeds. Bad loss for Leicester, especially if they want to see themselves stay in. Where are they at the moment? Are they third or
third?
Third, yeah. So they probably are fairly, they're probably contending for Champions League here at the rate they're going. But they can't really be losing the games to get the, they don't want to drop points and fall out of that and end up in Europa. I think it'd be nice to see Leicester get that Champions League. Do you guys reckon they'll perform in the Champions League if they get that?
I think it might be another one of those situations like when they won the Premier League a couple of years back and they obviously got Champions League. I think they were there, they took part and they enjoyed it, I think, from a certain standpoint, but I don't think they're going to really push on and get too far. Saying that, obviously, a lot's changed in sort of a couple of years since they've won, so I could be very wrong. I hope I am wrong.
I think the squad is probably actually better now.
Yeah, it's probably at its best for a Champions League run, if any.
Yeah. Plus, if they finish top 4, they get a decent amount of prize money, and they'll be able to invest further. I imagine they're in probably one of the best financial situations in the league, to be fair, but relative to how much they spend.
Yeah. Well, like this lead, the Leeds obviously beating Leicester 3-1 goes back to what I was saying earlier about one day they look immense and the next day they're dropping points where they shouldn't, or they're losing. So I think that lack of consistency is really hurting Leeds at the moment. But fair play, obviously they got the 3 points when it mattered against Leicester. It's just not so much last night.
No, I completely agree with you on that one, especially in regards to Leeds. I mean, I think they're a team. Leeds are a team that are getting a lot of attention, but I feel like it's only because they've only just come up, and I think they still do have a lot to prove. I think their first hurdle is, as we've previously said, is staying in the league, and then performing like they are performing now, but following year.
Second season syndrome they called it.
Yeah, exactly.
Happened to quite a few teams.
Oh yeah, Sheffield United's probably a prime example. I think, where did they finish? 7th last year or something like that, which probably the best, most overachieved team
Ninth.
last year. Ninth, not bad.
They were only 2 points behind Arsenal.
But I think
But
doesn't
before
go.
coronavirus as well, they were even higher.
Yeah.
They suffered from the not having fans.
I think it doesn't go as far as saying Sheffield United last year were the most overachieved team of that season. Purely because, I mean, Liverpool won the league, but that was to be expected from that point. But I think if you're a Sheffield United fan, you definitely would agree they massively overachieved last year. But I think they just set themselves up for failure. But now you expect them to do it again. The pressure's on, the cracks were shown, and they're just nowhere to be seen this year. But yeah, you all know that Sheffield United's going down.
Well, you say that they're on a decent bit of form.
Oh, really?
They actually, yeah. Let me have a look. I think they've won in all competitions. They've won 5 of their last 7 games.
I mean, they beat United, so
loss, win. So they've won 3 out of their last 5.
And the losses were City and Spurs. So you can't begrudge that.
No,
But
bad.
But they beat United as well, which is decent.
At the minute, they're actually looking a bit more likely to stay up than Fulham and West Brom.
Wow. Okay, fair enough.
On the form, they're still bottom, but form-wise, they're looking a lot better than West Brom.
Pulling it around. That's fair then.
I think they're on 11 points, so they've got 9 points out of the last 5 games. So all the games before that, there's 17 games before that, they were on 2.
Fair
Crazy.
enough. Well, looking at what sort of happens going forward then, let's see. So they Tuesday, 2nd of Feb, they played West Brom and beat West Brom 2-1. I mean, the way things sit at the moment, you kind of expect that to happen. So hopefully, I mean, I in a weird way, I do quite like Sheffield United. You know, they did really well last year, really egged them on. So I really wanted them to do well again this year, just as one of those teams that come up and just do amazing, like Leeds as well. Leeds are just a great team to watch because you just don't expect it from them. And Leeds are probably a bit more entertaining than Sheffield United, but yeah. Moving on, a very controversial game. I think Ollie may have some want to speak a few words about this one. The 2-1 loss for Arsenal, or the 2-1 win for Wolves. Ollie, what are your thoughts on this game?
Do you guys swear on this podcast?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, bullshit. Bullshit, the whole thing.
Is that the word you want to go with? Bullshit?
Yeah, it's just, it is. Like, how on earth?
You could say anything to describe that.
He chose bullshit.
It's just a bullshit result. It's, it proper wound me up. Seeing that David Luiz getting red carded, and even today, seeing that, what's his name, had his red card overturned, and David Luiz hasn't had his red card overturned.
That was a terrible decision.
It's crazy.
Didn't even see any contact.
All it was the Wolves player. I can't remember exactly who it was. He basically, as he was running, as his heel came up, his heel hit David Luiz's knee as David Luiz was running, and so he's fallen over. David Luiz didn't even touch him. He's kicked David Luiz, and he's just obviously get a red card. Yeah. I understand, but Leno, he's an idiot.
Yeah,
that's agreed.
That's just embarrassing. I don't know how that's happened, but the David Luiz one was just shocking. Absolutely shocking. I don't know how the Premier League can let that sort of stuff happen, especially with VAR as well.
Yeah. I mean,
those sort of mistakes can't happen, but they still happen to this day.
The referee.
It's supposed to be a contact game, and that wasn't even a foul.
No.
Barely contact, let alone like.
It was accidental contact. It wasn't even like he fucking was like, I'm going to knock his legs, mate, send him flying.
It was less of a foul than Bednarek's, and that wasn't a foul either.
Yeah.
No, mate, the refereeing this year has been probably the most controversial I think I've seen it be in a while. I mean, refereeing, there's always going to be some calls that are a bit what's going on type situation. But I think this year, when you sort of watch some, like when you watch sort of the Sky, they do sort of their talk, BBC Sport do sort of their talks. I think like some of the referee calls are just always brought up. There's every single time they bring up one game where the ref made a bad call, is what it feels like at the moment. Just
especially because it's got such a big spotlight on it, because obviously VAR is still vaguely new. They're still ironing out some of these creases in it. But I think it just winds people up even more, because things like that back in the day, they would have just gone, you give the player the benefit of the doubt. But now it's to the millimeter, and it's just got to the point where it's so petty, a lot of it as well. Like you cannot give an offside for something that's literally like an inch, if that.
Danny Ings was one the other day.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. I saw something this morning on Instagram. I can't remember which referee it was, but there was an old Premier League referee who's basically come out and said that they basically get given some sort of quota that they have to give a certain amount of like fouls and corners, things like that. So I don't know, obviously, how true this is. Like, I didn't really properly read all of it, but it's stuff like that. It wouldn't surprise me if in the next couple of years turns out there was a huge football fixing scandal to do with referees and that. It wouldn't honestly surprise me at all.
I mean, from a numbers point of view, I guess I understand that, because they probably just look at every game, on average, how many fouls are committed that aren't picked up, or how many fouls in general, and then the ref gets that in those numbers, and they go, okay, well,
but that's the thing. If there's no fouls, if there aren't fouls, then how?
No, yeah, exactly.
You shouldn't just give a foul just because, I've been told to give 15 in this game, so I'm going to give 15, even though 4 of them weren't actually fouls. It doesn't make sense. If it's not a foul,
I've never understood that about like police having arrest targets.
Yeah,
it's the same sort of thing. It's like,
yeah,
we want to arrest as many people. It's like, well, surely you want to arrest as few people as possible, because you want them to
so your crime rates go down.
Yeah.
And the less fouls that are happening in football, the more football's being played, the less stoppages there are, the better product you got for people to watch.
And less extra time.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, it's probably a frustration a lot of our fans, and probably just football fans in general, share. Just VAR. I don't know. I think it would be useful would you agree to have it in things like Champions League semi-final and finals, just to make sure the right team goes through? Or would it be the opposite?
I think that's the opposite.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I think the World Cup was the worst place to try out this new football idea, the biggest stage in the world. Why?
Yeah.
Why? And it made the final, especially, made such a difference. Croatia got screwed.
Okay, yeah, fair enough, actually. Because then are you saying that when it's at the beginning of the stages, if the right teams will go through anyway, regardless of VAR?
I think it should be that it should either be, they should have it on the tournament, like whichever tournament it may be or competition it may be, you either yes or no, not let's bring it in at a certain stage of the tournament, because that gives whoever's been knocked out previously an unfair advantage, an unfair sort of a disadvantage, because who knows, if there was VAR in the first game of the competition, their results could have been slightly different. So I think it's either a yes or a no, like either have it or don't have it. Don't have, we're going to bring VAR in from the quarterfinals onwards or something like that, because I think that's just stupid.
That's fair. I mean, it definitely does interrupt games. It slows them down, really. I think it's harder, especially if you're a player. I mean, it's probably hard for us to understand. But if you're a player, middle of the game, trying to focus, and you score a goal, and all of a sudden you see the big VAR, you're probably what's the word?
Stood there for a good couple of minutes.
It's like you're
kills a bit of passion.
Yeah, you're like, man, like, are you really doing this right now? Like,
it takes the flow out from the game as well. When you score a goal or something happens and they spend 5 minutes looking at it, you just stood there for 5 minutes. Like, well, I guess we could be playing football until obviously this restarts.
A player could have noticed someone's out of position and wants to take advantage of that, because that's football. And then all of a sudden VAR steps in and that player just notices and has a moment to look around and jogs back, and you're like, great, that's just ruined.
People are asking for consistency from it, but you cannot get consistency from it.
No, it's the most inconsistent thing in the world.
Every incident is different, first of all. Every foul, every corner, every penalty, whatever, they're all different. You can't say like, these ones are fouls, these ones are not fouls definitively. You can't, because it's always been up for interpretation, which is what the refs were there for in the first place. And with different people in the VAR room, different refs on the day, some are going to feel the pressure for them to be like, VAR said I should have a look at that, maybe I should overturn it. Or the people in the booth thinking like, I don't think that's a foul, so we're not going to give it, even if the majority of people would have given it.
So do you think the issue actually sits with how much power has been taken away from the ref these days? Because
Absolutely.
VAR has more leeway now than the referees. The referees consult VAR when they're struggling, and then VAR then tell them this is offside, and then they go, okay.
I don't know what the point of linesman is anymore. What's the point?
Yeah.
You don't need a linesman.
I guess it's for those sort of quick decisions instead of going, oh, we're not sure if that was offside, so give us a minute.
Well, linesmen's also
There's no
look
point
out
of
for
them
fouls.
signalling offside.
Yeah.
No point at all.
Don't linesmen's also have an opinion when there's fouls?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wave the flag.
I guess they sort of are like, you know, the second and third referees in the game and stuff like that. But yeah, I agree with you. You don't really need a linesman for an offside if everyone knows what is on offside and onside.
But they've changed the rules this year as well, haven't they? About offsides. You don't blow until they've touched the ball, whatever it is now. They've slightly changed it with offside. So it basically means that if a player's running like clearly offside but is sprinting towards it, they will not blow the whistle, or they won't give the offside until basically the very last minute. Which I think
that's like how it is on FIFA. It's so infuriating.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I've got the flags. The linesman's not put their flag up. I'm through. You score a banger, and you're like, oh, no, sorry, now it's offside. For God's sake.
Just give it to me as soon as I'm offside.
Yeah.
For the rest of the game.
Yeah, don't make me waste running 20 meters.
Yeah. Well, we got a little bit off track there, but it was good to hear your guys' opinion. No, it's good to hear your guys' opinions on sort of the VAR thing. I think it was a long time coming.
I'm very much anti-VAR.
Oh, I think so many people are. It just ruins the sport element of the game, where it's now starting to feel a bit not simulated, but just orchestrated and constructed. It doesn't feel organic. Where it used to be entertaining when there was like a very controversial call, because it didn't really happen that often. But now it's just every single time, every week you're going to have something that VAR got completely wrong, and you're like, how could you sit there, look at it in detail, and still get it wrong? That's the problem. Yeah. But anyway, I think we'll move from this.
Quickly, just before we move on from the Arsenal Wolves game, credit where credit's due. Jean Moutinho's goal was a banger. That was a banger. I have to say, as much as it pains me, it was a banger. So
you can't hate on a good goal, even if
exactly. As much as the rest of it wound me up. I think that was a good goal.
Yeah, I mean, Saka, amazing. Where's he come from? Jesus Christ, like, just fell into the squad and has just been an absolute sensation for Arsenal as well.
Pepe's coming into some sort of form now, I guess.
Looking like the player you bought him for, so that's also good. So I'm, as much as I don't hate Arsenal, I'm not gonna lie, I don't hate Arsenal. I just love to see it when they lose. It's just brilliant. I'd like to see as well.
A lot of their fans are incredibly annoying. Not just the Arsenal fan TV lot. There are a lot of Arsenal fans out there who are insufferable. Not you, of course, Ollie. Perfectly calm and rational.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm quite sort of understated when it comes to being an Arsenal fan. I'm not going to be the one to wind people up and go, "Oh no, we're the best team in the world," because evidently we're not. I know we're not. I'm realistic. I'm not very optimistic at times, but I'm realistic when it comes to Arsenal.
Yeah,
I understand that a lot of games we will win, but a lot of games we'll probably lose and draw, because that's just how we are at the moment. We haven't got that solid sort of starting 11 that we need. But I can only hope for the best.
No, I mean, I think AFT does sort of give all Arsenal fans a bad rap, especially because we've got surprisingly quite a few Arsenal friends, don't we? We've got you. We've got.
I think they might be the most supported team in our age group.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but if you think about what Arsenal were doing when we were growing up, they were arguably the best team of all. They were for a couple of seasons, and obviously like the Invincible season, everything like that. I'm not surprised that there's a lot of people our age that are Arsenal fans, because one of the main reasons I'm an Arsenal fan, Thierry Henry, he was a huge influence for me, and he was the main reason I supported Arsenal, because he was top dog at the time. Every time I thought of football, I thought of Thierry Henry, and he made me fall in love with the game. So
I've made a similar point to George before a couple of times, and he's not having any of it that Arsenal are so heavily supported because they were good when we were kids. He's not happy about it.
But does he have his reasoning for supporting Arsenal?
I don't know what his comeback was. I think
because it's either the team. I feel like it's either you were raised to support the team you support, or when you were younger, or you either lived near the team you support, or the team that you do support were really good or are really good.
Yeah.
When
Well, like if your parents aren't into football, but you've gotten really into it,
yeah, you'd be like,
then
oh,
you pick your own team, don't you?
yeah.
I don't think I could name a single Man City fan. Like, I don't think I genuinely know a single Man City fan.
I don't know any Man City fans.
Now, there's probably a lot more than there was 10, 15 years ago. There's definitely going to be a lot more. But
he's about 12, I think. 13.
That makes
14.
sense. That tracks, though, doesn't it? Ah, yeah. No, you're going to see a lot more Man City fans pop up, and they're just going to get so much stick. But then, did we get stick when we chose them?
I did.
No,
I got the other kind of stick. Picking a shit.
One thing I will say about Arsenal Fan TV, I mentioned it on one of the other podcasts I've been on, but I don't think we were recording at that point. I absolutely despise them with a passion. They embarrass Arsenal. They are an embarrassment to Arsenal, and that's why they were made to change their name from Arsenal Fan TV to AFTV, because Arsenal don't want any association with them. Yeah, that's why they've changed it, because they're not allowed to be called Arsenal Fan TV, because they're not. Arsenal don't want to be related to that. They don't want to be associated with that kind of embarrassing. Every single weekend,
that's tough.
Every weekend, or every time there's the morning after an Arsenal game, Instagram's filled with just Arsenal Fan TV memes or FTV memes. It's ridiculous. People go, oh, do you know Ty and who's the big ball bloke that's been memed quite a lot recently? They're all just
Robbie.
Yeah. Oh no. The quite skinny bloke. It was screaming at his phone the other day on one of them. I don't know. I don't watch any of it, so I only know Ty is one of them. But yeah, they're just an embarrassment to Arsenal fans. They make us look a lot worse than we actually are.
Yeah, they're toxic. They're the most toxic people I think I've ever seen in football.
Definitely. And I think that gives that gives the people sort of the stereotype of Arsenal fans are really toxic and they're horrible people and all that sort of stuff. And in my opinion, I'm quite the opposite to that. I'm
you're quite level-headed. Chill.
Exactly.
We're terrible at the moment. Oh well, hilarious.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that I'm not passionate about it, because I am passionate about football. It just means that I'm not going to make myself and make my team look stupid just because we had one bad result and then they all go absolutely nuts and memes galore, and then I'm sat there like, great, then now this isn't now affecting me as well, because I'm getting all of my mates sending it to me and going, oh, Arsenal fans this, Arsenal fans that. But no, some Arsenal fans. You can't band us all in the same
majority.
Yeah. No, I get where you're coming from, mate. It's probably tough being an Arsenal fan.
It is.
If anyone else,
it's an emotional roller coaster.
If anyone's watching this and an Arsenal fan, feel free to drop us a message. We'll give you some sort of, some mental help.
Couple of F's in the chat.
We'll give you some links where you can get some help.
We'll leave Samaritan's number in the description. But anyway, moving on from
F's in the chat.
Moving on from the Arsenal game, immediately after is the Man United big 9-0 win, which was probably I think that's the tie. They've got 9-0 is probably their biggest club record, I think. Which
I think they equaled it.
Yeah.
They had a 10-1 before against Ipswich.
Oh damn, Jesus.
So it's 9 goal.
Yeah. 9-0 win. That's insane. I mean, it seems like everyone on the team got a bloody goal as well, apparently. But yeah, no. Great win for Man United, annoyingly, I have to say. But again, Southampton on the receiving end.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I think they've had the biggest home defeat and the biggest away defeat ever.
Yeah.
in the last 2 seasons that's happened.
Jeez.
Consecutive seasons.
Wasn't it Portsmouth that tweeted?
That was a great stat.
Yeah.
Oh, as well, yeah. Portsmouth had tweeted them like, oh, well done for beating Southampton 9-0 or something like that. Which is pretty, I love it. I love the rivalry. But no, amazing game. I mean, God, this United team have really turned it around. It's really surprising, to be honest, just because the amount of all I can remember is just United being terrible, and now they're just amazing. I don't really get it. It comes out.
Ferguson seemed so long ago.
I know.
Yeah. It was only 7-8 years ago, but
to be fair, 7-8 years is a fairly long time, sort of
in football, in football it's
a lot
time.
changes.
Third of our lives, actually.
Yeah. True. Which is quite crazy to think about, to be honest. Didn't feel like long ago that Ollie was getting sacked, and now he's probably going to sign a new contract and stay there, which is quite, again, in itself shocking. I mean, I think it just really highlights how badly I think Frank was treated, but then others probably disagree. I think when that happens, I always compare it to other managers and other situations and think, well, Ollie was definitely not doing that great. And any Champions League, any of the competitions, getting knocked out way too early, not doing great in the Premier League. And now look at them. They're in great form. Ollie knows what he's doing. The team knows who he's playing against who as well. So it's a bit...
I think a lot of those sort of managers, like Solskjaer and like Frank, they have big shoes to fill.
Yeah,
massive shoes. Like especially Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it's ridiculous. Like, and obviously you see how badly some of the managers after Fergie did, and you're like, yeah, this is going to be hard. But fair play to Man U. I think they've obviously done what Chelsea didn't do, and they stuck to their guns, and it's working out for them now. But yeah, the revolving door that is Chelsea.
Yeah,
they've got rid.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that, to be honest. I don't think, even though they won 9-0, Bruno still managed to get a penalty in there as well, which
Fernandes.
Brilliant. Bruno Fernandes, yeah.
I'm pretty sure you mentioned that last week as well.
Yeah. I was like, put him in my team. Can I get me a nice pens? But yeah, no, great win for Man United. Are they they're second, aren't they? We've already said that. They're second, not far away, which is great for United because they were the new Arsenal finishing in fourth all the time. Next on the list, Palace winning against Newcastle. Sorry, a fixture you probably expect them to, but again on Palace, they've got some great fixtures coming up, so hopefully they'll pick up some good points there. And Harry and Alfie will be really pleased and actually say something positive about Palace for a change, won't he?
It's either 0 or 100 with Alf. He's either fuming or he's ecstatic.
Yeah,
there's no in between.
No, there's no in between at all. Yeah, no, I think not much to say there. Palace got a good win, much needed. City, let's be honest, they beat Burnley 2-0. I mean, City, what else can you say there? Leicester, Fulham 2-0. Again, Leicester, great form, great players.
Maddison was unreal.
Maddison, well, another great player who really, I think, has the potential to fill in Vardy's shoes. But those, again, big shoes to fill. Everton beat Leeds 2-1, which is weird because they lost 2-0 against Newcastle. So it goes back to that unpredictability. And Leeds obviously dropping a couple points there. I say a couple, to drop 3 points there that they probably do need to keep up their momentum. Again, West Ham beating Villa 3-1, and probably the highlight of that game was Jesse Lingard making his debut for West Ham.
It was.
Yeah, apparently.
Nice to see him silence some critics, to be fair.
Yeah.
All I've seen online today, everyone's massively overreacted to it and said, like, photoshopped his face on, like, Messi and stuff like that. And I've seen unbelievable amounts of stuff about Lingard today. But I was watching the highlights earlier, and they weren't amazing shots. Martinez should have probably saved both of them. He got a hand on both of them, and I think it was luck more than anything. Fair play. Obviously, you have to be the one to take the shot, and obviously 2 of them went in. But I don't think it was necessarily all down to Lingard's pure skill. I think it was definitely an element of goalkeeper error involved there as well. But fair play to him. It's good to see him obviously getting on the score sheet, and I hope he does do well at that. Because I used to really like him. I used to really like Jesse Lingard, but then he started to become a bit, I think, arrogant, I think, on social media and things like that, and a couple of bad stories came out about him, and he didn't sort of perform to
that goal he scored against Panama at the World Cup. Unreal.
That was good.
Oh man, I can't wait for the World Cup to be back. But yeah, no, Jesse Lingard probably has a good place in West Ham now for scoring them 2 goals immediately.
Is any there on loan?
Yeah.
I thought so, yeah.
I shouldn't think it did much to buy, though, if they did want to follow that.
Just nothing anyway. I mean, and then the last game that we've just seen been played, annoyingly, is the Brighton Liverpool game. I don't really have much to say about this, other than actually on Twitter, apparently Klopp out is trending worldwide.
Blimey.
Like, why would you? Like, why would?
I think it's one of those situations where you go from here to here, and then people start to instantly sort of jump on it and start going, "Oh no, he should go out. He should go out." Like he's not. Like it's the big jump from being arguable the best team in the world last year, basically, and definitely obviously in the Premier League, to this year where obviously you nearly went undefeated last year, and now look how many games have you lost so far this year? 4. Yeah, it's.
You got to look at all the injuries and stuff as well. Like,
yeah, I mean, this goes back to what I was saying, where we haven't actually played our full team at all so far. I mean, Van Dijk's, and we're not going to play our full team because Van Dijk will not be back into the next season.
I've seen a lot of stuff about that.
It's going to
be back into this season.
No, he will not be back. He will not be back until next.
Especially with an ACL.
No, there's no point rushing him back.
There's no point. Let it heal. Let him get back to where he needs to be, and we'll try again next year. Do you know what I mean? Like this year, our aim, Champions League. That's it. We want those lucrative TV deals, please. Money. That's all we want. Yeah, Liverpool aren't running for a title. I mean, there's potential that, you know, we could turn things around because at the end of the day, Salah's not injured. Mane's not injured, or did he take a knock? I think.
I think there was a couple of Liverpool players out.
He was in the red on the FPL.
Oh, well, Salah's not injured.
Alisson was out randomly yesterday. Was he injured?
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. I didn't hear anything.
Kelleher started, and then Adrian was on the bench.
Right. Kelleher did all right, actually.
Yeah, no, Kelleher's actually a really good little prospecting goal. We don't usually produce keepers. We just buy them. But no, Kelleher's actually looking decent. I mean, there's not a lot of positives I can take from this Brighton game, other than we only conceded 1 goal, where it could have been a lot more, especially considering we have Henderson at centre back, which actually he's pretty good at centre back, and I think Nathaniel Phillips, who young and inexperienced. I mean, it's good. I like that we have players coming through, sort of at that age, getting the Premier League time, where arguably they really shouldn't be getting that Premier League time because we should have seniors started ahead of them. And obviously, we have made some new signings, which we will get into very, very shortly. But I still don't think Liverpool are in a terrible position. I mean, we beat West Ham 3-1, we beat Tottenham 3-1, we drew against United, then we lost to Southampton 1-0. Not great because it's Liverpool, but not terrible. I mean, it could be worse, is what I'm saying. We could, and I think we should be in a worse position considering who we have played, the injuries that we have had, and I don't think there should be any reason why Liverpool should be ruled out of winning the Premier League, because the same thing could happen to City. Half their squad could get COVID, because that has happened previously at the beginning of this league, where 3-4 players are out because they had to isolate for 2 weeks. So it could happen. It's very
there's still a lot of time left. There's
plenty of time left.
16 to 18 games left, depending on which team you are. I think, but yeah,
Gomez as well. I haven't really heard any updates, but I heard it's all going well. So he potentially could be back, and at this rate, I'd happily welcome Gomez back into sort of the starting team. I mean, I don't hate Nathaniel Phillips. I just think his inexperience would show in bigger games or in tougher games. And I think where Gomez, he had a knee injury, and I saw the scar. Have you seen the scar on his knee? Massive. It's literally massive, from like the very top of your knee to the very bottom of your knee. It's like literally like that long.
Jesus.
It looked bad, and apparently I just looked at it like that looks horrible, but apparently the injury isn't as bad as they thought, which I guess doesn't really verify anything. But yeah, I mean, I'm more excited about Diogo Jota coming back. I'm not gonna lie, completely forgot about him, which is weird to say. I just was so focused on Salah just trying to get into form that I forgot we actually had Jota, who could potentially come back fairly soon, hopefully. And I just think,
Matip's out for the rest of the season, isn't
yeah, 4 to 6 weeks. I last
Oh.
heard.
Fabinho should be back soon, though. That make a big
he? I heard
Fabinho.
Matip was out for the rest of the season.
Oh.
But
Well,
I
that's
could be wrong.
confirmed. I mean, 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah, no, Fabinho is also another good option to sit in centre back as well. He was centre back at the last club he was at, and then obviously came into a CDM role, which he was amazing in. But obviously, he's had to drop back into centre back, which isn't foreign to him. It's something he can see. But again,
it's nice to have a calm head at centre back. Like,
exactly. Someone who to take out that last man, like Van Dijk would do, and just clean up and just get the ball away. I think Fabinho does that really well in CDM, but can also transition the skills to the centre back role. Okay, so those have been the fixtures. Obviously, we have touched on quite a lot on other minor topics like the VAR, controversial, sort of the refereeing, what we think we should do with VAR. As well, we had a look at the league as well, which is something we haven't spoken about in a while, even though football podcast, we haven't really spoken that much about the state of the league and how random it seems to be at the moment, and how like nothing's certain, even though we're like now really stepping into February, nothing's actually certain. But we're going to take a quick break because we're going to go into sort of some of the transfers now. Now I've got every transfer in the January window. So we're going to go through team by team, and we're going to break it down, and we're going to probably finish up there. So if you're still watching, stay in tune. We're going to go through the transfers, and we're going to go through every single one. Okay? So see you guys in a second. Hi guys, welcome back. It's part 3 now. We've just broken down pretty much a lot. We kind of spent a lot of our time just having a bit of a chinwag, haven't we? About
we went through about 3 game weeks though, to be fair.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did say we're going to be reviewing it all and just catching up. But we're just before we sort of finished, I was just saying how we were getting into some sort of like transfer news. So the transfer window has now closed, which was actually the 1st of February it closed, because for some reason it couldn't open on the Sunday. It couldn't close on a Sunday, which I'm not really too sure why. Any of you guys have any ideas why it can't close on a Sunday?
No idea.
No idea. So
no post on Sundays.
No, exactly. That's probably why. Okay, so I have a lovely Premier League website, so hopefully all of these are going to be official. We are going to basically go through every single team. Obviously, I'm just going to read it out because sometimes not worth talking about it because they're unfortunately, no offense, because you don't know who these people are sometimes. So obviously, starting out, we have Arsenal. Now, players that they've brought in, and by the way, going ahead, forgive me if I absolutely butcher some of these names. It's going to happen. So sorry in advance. So Omar Rekik, Hertha Berlin is where he came from.
Is that someone we brought in?
Yep, brought in Omar Rekik, Hertha Berlin.
Can't say I've heard much
about
him. I assume he's quite young.
Yeah, well, let's get some details. See what it brings up. Okay, so he looks good. Professional contract, under 23s.
Yeah, I was going to say
19-year-old has joined us.
Man City used to have a player called Rekik. Karim Rekik, I think. I don't know if they're related or if that's a common surname somewhere.
So throughout his youth career, he also spent time at Feyenoord, Manchester City, PSV Eindhoven, and Marseille. Wow.
Probably his brother then.
So the 19-year-old joined us from Bundesliga, Hertha Berlin. Omar is a ball-playing centre-half who can play on both sides. Fair enough.
I assume he's just going to be one for the future. One that we're going to put through sort of the ranks.
You've got Matt Ryan from Brighton.
Oh, yeah.
That was such a random signing. I have no idea why we made that signing. We only bought in that Runarsson a couple of in the summer, I think it was.
Yeah.
But, yeah, baffled.
He's all right, Matt Ryan. I guess they knew Leno was likely to get sent off.
Did he play in that game?
I think so.
Off. Jesus.
I think he must have come on, but it was either him or Matt Macy.
Ah. Okay, whilst Harry confirms that for us, Martin Odegaard from Real Madrid on loan.
Oh, and it was Runnison that played.
Runnison, yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, Odegaard, Real Madrid loan.
Yeah, I hope he gets a bit more game time.
Yeah,
because he's just been coming on as substitute sort of so far. I'm not sure if it's due to sort of lack of match fitness or something, but yeah, I hope he gets a bit more game time so we can see what he can really do.
We found out in a previous contract sometimes players don't get played because their contracts actually say if they play a certain amount of minutes, they owe money, which I was quite shocked by. Because remember we were talking on a previous podcast about Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain not playing that much for Arsenal because in his contract, if he played more, the club would have to pay more to wherever he came from. Not sure where that was.
Yeah, was it 7? He couldn't pay any more than 19 minutes or something.
Yeah, something stupid.
If he played any more than 20 minutes, they'd have to pay like 10 grand or whatever it was.
Something stupid like that. But yeah, hopefully this isn't the same case with Odegaard. Because
I hope not.
Because he was a good player. I remember him being quite prominent, I guess, or a lot of potential behind him.
Yeah, he had a lot of. He was quite a promising young player. I remember when I first heard about him, he was that new young kid that's breaking into the Real Madrid
new
team.
Ronaldo, and I was like,
and you're a bit like, oh my god, like how is he starting for Real Madrid? And then obviously I think all of that died down quite a lot, and he's obviously just flown under the radar for quite a while.
Yeah, unfortunately it happens. But anyway, so you've had only 3 ins.
Yeah.
Now you've had quite a lot of outs. Which
was it 10? 10 or something weird.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Oh.
So Kolasinac, Schalke on loan, and they're going down as well. They're actually finishing bottom probably. William Saliba. Schalke, because I remember looking at the team because Liverpool got Kabak. I'm pretty sure they're bottom.
That's hilarious.
You've just sent Kolasinac to go on loan over there, which is brilliant.
Well, he was referred to as the Bosnian Hulk when he first joined for Arsenal. I think
fair enough.
That name quickly went out the window when he didn't happen.
He was all right to start with.
Yeah,
he was all right, but he wasn't. He wasn't anything special.
William Saliba, Nice loan.
This whole Saliba saga has been winding me up. I don't know what's properly going on. He's just been, he was signed and then was sent back to St Etienne, was it, on loan, and then joined Arsenal again. Then we weren't going to loan him back, and then now we have 6 months later, and he's not paying for us, and it's baffling.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'm to Nice now, which is a bit mad.
Yeah, he's only on loan. But...
Daniel Ballard, Blackpool, loan extension. Don't know. I don't know who he is. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Matt Macy, Hibernian. Oh, wait.
Hibernian.
Yeah.
Pips.
Socrates.
Edinburgh.
Was released.
Yeah.
He was released.
So, yeah, mutual consent.
Yeah.
I think that's for everyone, really.
Probably the most well-known one, Mesut Ozil to Feminacci. That man deserves to play. I know you're an Arsenal fan, but Arsenal treated him very poorly.
Finally free.
He's free.
Yeah, well, I've never really properly formed a strong opinion over it because I don't know exactly what's happened behind closed doors. There's got to be something more than just, he's a little bit arrogant, or he didn't put the toilet seat down or something like that. It's just there's definitely something that's happened in the background, but the way he was being treated after what he's done for Arsenal over the 7.5 years, I think it was, I think he's been treated wrongly.
I mean, he's making an impression for the Fibonacci fans already, taking an 80% pay cut and donating like 6 million so they can afford to pay him, and not afford to pay, afford to play him.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen with Gunnosaurus's wages now? Is that still paying them?
I saw that the other day. I guess no idea.
He's gone.
Hopefully.
Hope so.
So do I.
I'd take him at Reading, Gunnosaurus.
Yeah.
Reading Saurus.
A dinosaur.
Fair enough. Okay, so Matt Smith, Charlton loan. Fair enough. Don't really know him that well.
No.
Joseph Olowu, Wellston loan. Zach Medley, Kilmarnock.
A lot of these are just
No.
going to be some of our
Yeah.
youth squad that are just we want get out there, get
First
some
team.
game time, get some experience, everything like
Totally.
that.
Mustafi, Schalke 04. Different
Yeah.
team. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, West Brom loan. Joe Willock, Newcastle
It's a good
loan.
move for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think good moves for both of them. Really, it's not like they don't get any game time at Arsenal. They get game time. Obviously, Maitland-Niles more than Willock, I'd say. But for them to go out there and get a full 90 minutes most weekends, I reckon it'll do them a world of good.
Well, we'll probably get to it, but in a good comparison of that is Harvey Elliott. He's been lighting up the pitch for Blackburn recently. I think Harry, would you have?
Has he got his haircut yet?
No, I ain't got his haircut yet.
No,
Apparently, he's doing really well, and they refer to him as their little diamond or gem or something like that, which is a bit weird, but whatever floats your boat. Anyway, moving on. Aston Villa. The only signing they made apparently was Morgan Sanson from Marseille, which is fair enough. I don't know too much about this player. If any of you guys, can you guys shed any more light? No. I mean,
Marseille aren't a bad team.
No, they're not a terrible team. I mean, it's good to see that they, I want to see Villa strengthen their squad. I don't want to see that many players leave. But on that note, Lovre Kalinic went to Hajduk Split on a loan. Jack Clark, Chesterfield loan. Tyreek Wright, Walsall loan. Dominic Reven, Weymouth. Callum Rowe, Hereford United. Fair enough. Connor Hurian, Swansea. Indiana Vasilev. Indiana Vasilev, Cheltenham. Henry Lansbury released, and Frederick Gilbert.
Christ, Lansbury. That's where he's
released. Yeah, well, he's ended up nowhere
He was Arsenal back in the day, wasn't he?
Probably.
Brighton, again, same with Aston Villa. They just made one signing. Moise Caicedo. Don't know if I pronounced that one right. From the Independiente del Val. No idea.
Brazil, I think.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't know much about that player. Let me get some quick details because that sounds like a very cool name. Contract until June 2025. Jesus. 4-year contract. Okay, that makes sense. Transfer remains subject to national clearance, but the 19-year-old midfielder arrived on the South Coast and won the 2020 Under-20 Copa Libertadores, as well as making a senior debut for Hector in October. Decent for Brighton, I guess. Not terrible.
Yeah.
Out who left Brighton or on loan was Jason Malumbi for Preston, Victor Goikerez to Coventry for loan, Warren O'Hara, MK Dons, Bernardo went to Red Bull Salzburg. Didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've actually still got him in my fantasy team. he's been on my bench since day one.
Oh, mate, yeah, he's a good bench warmer, isn't he?
Yeah, there he is, right there on the bottom.
Yeah, brilliant.
He's just been number 3 on my bench throughout the whole season. I've not touched
Fair
him.
enough. Matt Ryan, as we know, Arsenal loan. Glenn Murray went to Nottingham Forest. I did not know that.
He's got.
I think he's coming
40
towards the end of his sort of career, and I don't think he was going to be playing much in the Prem, especially not starting.
Did he get an injury as well recently, and that's probably what saw him off? Was that Glenn Murray? Oh, it's probably more pay. And then lastly, Max Sanders went to Lincoln on loan. Anyway, moving on. Burnley. In they had Ben Ward from Hastings and Anthony Gomez Machini from Angers.
They were actually allowed to sign someone.
Yeah, signed two.
They can only afford someone who plays for Hastings.
Not really. I don't know
what division Hastings are in. They're not in the top 6 of it.
God knows. I have no idea who these people are, but going out as well, we have Bobby Thomas to Barrow on loan, Lucas Jensen to Bolton on loan, Adam Phillips to Accrington Stanley on loan, Mace Goodridge to Barrow on loan as well. Chelsea, they didn't sign anyone in the transfer window, which respectively,
not really surprised.
Yeah, not surprised about that.
Ain't got any money left.
They did let some players go to other clubs and loans and whatnot. So Charlie Brown went to MK Dons as a transfer. Lucas Piazon to Braga as well, a transfer. Danny Drinkwater.
He's been at Chelsea going out on loans for about 10 years.
Oh my God.
Danny
Drinkwater went to Kasimpasa. I can't pronounce it. On loan. Fikayo Tamori went to AC Milan on loan. Baba Rahman.
That's a good move for him, I think.
Baba Rahman went to PAOK, all in caps. I'm assuming it's just, yeah.
Yeah, it's rigged.
Brilliant. He went on loan. Jack Wakely, Brighton loan as well. Palace did make some moves and did get some players in. So obviously they got Jean-Philippe Mateta from Mainz on loan. They got Jake O'Brien from Cork City loan, and Danny
on loan in.
Yeah, got him on loan in.
It's a strange move.
Yeah, Danny Imre signed for them from Chelford City, and out. Don't really know any of these people. Rob Street to Torquay on loan. Max Mayer released. Scott Banks to Dunfermline loan. Jaroslaw Jack went to Rakov Czesov on loan. Just a Czech team.
I think everyone's favourite part of this podcast is going to be your pronunciations of these.
I told you
these names.
I'm gonna butcher it, and I've said this at the start. I'm gonna butcher some of these names.
You're at a 50-50 success rate, I reckon.
I think, and I'm happy with that. If I can consistently keep it up, I'll be fine. Sam Woods.
Nailed it.
Yeah. 60-40.
Wait till I get to this next one. Plymouth Argyle loan. Brendan Pierrick into Kilmarnock loan. And that's Palace out. Everton. Joshua King. I got him from AFC Bournemouth on loan.
Did they?
Yeah.
It was a good move. It was a late
played
one.
against us at the weekend.
I didn't know that. Honestly,
it was a late one. I think it happened on deadline day and within the last couple of hours, I think. But yeah, that's a good move, I think, for him.
I mean, they've had a lot of outs though. Matthew Pennington, Shrewsbury loan. Jared Braithwaite, Blackburn loan. Ellis Sims, Blackpool. Yannick Balassi, Middlesbrough loan. Jonas Lossie, Maitland. Cenk Tosun,
Chet Tosun,
Besiktas loan. John Joe Kenny, Celtic loan. Benny Banningimi.
Oh, this reminds me of that the sketch of that African sports reader.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
he went to Derby on loan. Anthony Gordon, Preston loan, and that was it for Everton. Fulham in. They got one. They got Josh Maja from Bordeaux on loan.
Good player.
Decent, fair play. Out was Anthony Knockerett to Nottingham Forest, a loan extension.
I love that he never makes it in the Premier League. I love it.
Yeah.
Such an arse.
He is.
Fair enough. Loan extension from Fulham. Jerome Opoku to Plymouth, loan extension again. Stefan Johansson, QPR loan. Jean Michael Seri, Bordeaux loan. Abubakar Kamara, Dijon loan. Maxime Lemerchand, Royal Antwerp loan. Nieskens Cabano, Middlesbrough loan. And that was Fulham. Moving on, Leeds United, they've just had people on the out here. Jordan Stevenson, Bradford loan. Ryan Edmondson, Northampton loan. Robbie Gatz, Salford loan. Rafa Mujica, one of them. Las Palmas loan. Oh, that must be nice. Connor Shaughnessy released. Shaughnessy?
Do you want to say, okay, yeah, I'll move it over to the win pile.
Joy Roy Grot. VFL.
Sure.
Oh, J Roy Grot. Grow? Oh, you're keeping count. I just clocked.
You do well. You do.
I'm not doing too bad.
For Leeds.
All right. Leicester haven't had any transfer ins, but we have had some outs. I'm going to skip all of them because I don't know how to pronounce. I'm joking. Admiral Musqui. Don't know.
Admiral Musqui. That's a sick name.
That is kind of a cool name. First name being Admiral as well. Gee.
That's dope.
Wickham. He went to Wickham on loan. Matty James, Coventry loan. Daniel Iverson, Preston loan. Josh Knight, Wickham loan extension. Philippe Benkovic, OH Leuven. Islam Slimani, Lyon. Darnell Johnson, FC Wimbledon loan. Damari Gray, Bayer Leverkusen. Oh my God, I'm stumbling over my words. Bayern Leverkusen. Damari Gray, I thought he was going to go to an English club. I didn't realise he went to Bayern Leverkusen.
That's a good move. That's a really cool move for him. I like that.
Fair.
Do well over there.
And Callum Wright to Cheltenham Town, loan. Liverpool, in. Ben Davies, Preston. Ozan Kabak, Schalke, loan.
So was this the same Ben Davies that used to play for Tottenham?
No.
Is it Tottenham?
He's still at Tottenham.
Oh, right. I was going to say.
I know a little bit more about these two players, but I also know we probably picked them up dirt cheap as well, because the Schalke 04 are the team that are bottom, and that's where we got Kabak from. I don't know a great deal of players. I know that Kabak is quite a physical player. The only thing I worry about is him just getting screwed with yellow cards and red cards and things like that. Ben Davies, again, seems like he could be better. But again, as a Liverpool fan, I'm intrigued to see how they perform in the Premier League. But moving out,
I think Ben Davies could end up being like a Rob Holding.
Yeah.
Like not signed for immediately, just like a if you need him centre back option.
Fair. No, I actually completely agree with that. He's from Preston. He did all right for Preston so far, so hopefully he gets his time to shine at Liverpool. And there's the opportunity to at the moment, so fair play to him. Good move.
True.
Going out is Liam Miller, Charlton loan. Adam Lewis, Plymouth loan. Sepp Vanderberg. We forgot we had him. Preston loan. Oh, swap centre back for centre back. I see there. Any of you know about the Sepp Vanderberg?
Can't say I do.
No, fair enough. Don't expect you to be fair. He's really, really young. So it looks like we just did a sort of a buy and a swap to balance that out. And probably the biggest one here is Takumi Minamino, Southampton loan. Which is I saw a funny joke going, fair play to Minamino realising to join Southampton so he can get into the Liverpool squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, that's kind of funny, actually. That's actually pretty decent. And the last one is Vyacheslav Jaros, St. Patrick's Athletic loan. No idea who the hell that was. But yeah, that's Liverpool. I think we've done quite well in the transfer market, as we usually do. City have only had players going out. Morgan Rogers, Lincoln loan. Taylor Hardwood Bellis, Blackburn loan. Arjuna Muric, Wellheim second or two, I don't know, loan. Patrick Roberts to Derby County loan. Surprisingly, City haven't really done much in the transfer market.
Yeah, I think they're probably just sort of clearing out sort of some of the dead weight, really. Yeah,
time.
I don't think Jan's normally a massive window for a lot of people. I think obviously there's a couple of big names that maybe happen once every other year or something, but for the most part, January's a bit sort of maybe potentially get rid of a bit of dead weight, save a bit of money, and get one or two players in if needed at that point in the.
I mean, Liverpool are probably a prime example. We've got some defenders.
Yes.
We need defenders.
Well,
We're not
same
going
as
to go.
Arsenal, we got a couple midfielders in, a couple creative midfielders, which obviously
exactly.
we needed and got rid of a lot of dead weight. So,
yeah, it's a spring cleaning of football, it seems. Okay. So we covered them. So United had one transfer in, Amad Diallo from Atalanta. Don't know a great deal about this player, but I know Atalanta aren't a team you can fuck with. They're a decent side, and consistently, I don't think they do terribly in the Champions League. I know they gave us a run for money this year, and I think did Liverpool play them last year as well, potentially. But United, one player in. I mean, I kind of just want to see. What's his name? I've forgotten his name. Brilliant. I've got his name whilst we're recording.
Describe.
Pogba.
oh right.
Jesus. I was like, what's his name? I kind of just want to see Pogba leave, just because I want to know where he's going to go. But
I'm sick of the sight of get him out.
I know, get him out.
I saw a picture earlier on Instagram when we took a short break a moment ago about it was a picture of Pogba and that Diallo like a couple of years ago when he was like a little kid, that Diallo guy. I know it's obviously a picture of them in their United gear training together, and they're like,
that's kind of cool.
Trying to like recreate the picture or whatever, which is obviously it's quite cool to see that sort of thing.
And then Pogba's like, okay, yeah, bye.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I was asking him for a picture.
True. Okay, so people who are leaving United: Max Haygarth, Brentford; Ethan Laird, MK Dons. What players going to MK Dons? Just me? I feel like we've said MK Dons.
I'd be fuming if I got sent to MK Dons.
Tell me about it. That's only a loan though, so I've seen more players go there permanently than I have seen on loan. So Ethan Laird, whatever it is. Luca Ercolaning to Carpi, Timothy Fosu Mensah, Bayern Leverkusen, Deshaun Bernard to Salford, loan extension. Jesse Lingard obviously was a big one to West Ham loan. Tahith Chong to Club Bruges loan. That must be cool. Facundo Pelstri to Alaves loan. Tiedemann Menji, Derby loan, and Marcus Rojo to Boca Juniors. Or Boca Juniors, probably.
Boca Juniors.
Boca Junior. Fair enough. Newcastle United, obviously, they've had one transfer in which we mentioned, which is Joe Willock, which came in on loan. I think he's probably going to get a bit more game time with Newcastle there, which sounds like a good move, to be fair. Out Rolando Aarons to Huddersfield. DeAndre Yedlin to Galatasaray. Oh, that's cool. Sheffield United, no, they obviously haven't bought anyone. They're probably just preparing themselves on their exit. George Broaden to Beershot loan. Michael Verpis to FC Emmen loan. And Jake Eastwood to Grimsby loan. Oh no. Oh, man.
Someone's got to play there.
At least it's by the sea. That's more than I can say for Milton Keynes.
Yeah, true. Southampton, obviously, they've had Takumi Minamino, which, I don't know, is it a good move, do you think, guys?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a similar sort of situation to Joe Willock in the sense it will get a lot more game time, get that experience, and get some first team football under his belt, under sort of in the Prem, and then
yeah.
I don't think there's much to lose for either team with that kind of deal.
Yeah, no, Southampton aren't exactly doing terribly either, so it's not like he's going from a top table team to top of the table team to right at the bottom. He's still decently mid-table.
Yeah, he's not going to get relegated with his team. Is probably what Klopp doesn't want. Bit of a flop though, do you guys think? Because he was so good. Where did he go? Leipzig, our Red Bull, didn't he?
Yeah, I'll be
so good there. Pretty much when we played against them.
Was it Leipzig or Salzburg?
Was it Salzburg? One of the RB teams. Oh no, it was Salzburg. Bear with us. We will have confirmation very soon.
Salzburg.
Salzburg. Yeah, no, when we played against them, he stuck out. Probably one of the best midfielders on that team. And now he comes to Liverpool, which I don't know if it's because maybe we play slightly differently to what he's used
Well,
to.
obviously the Premier League's quite different. I think it's the
Premier
most
League.
physical league.
Then you've got Wijnaldum, Henderson ahead of you. You can't not play Henderson, and Wijnaldum is obviously arguably world class, really. So tough position to be in, I guess, if you want to be up there. But again, he has had his opportunities, and I think in some instances he could have been a bit of a waste of talent, potentially. But if Wijnaldum's moving on, which probably looks like he will in the summer, then maybe there's room for him. But we still have Navigator. So on that, Southampton going out, Tyreek Johnson to Gillingham, Callum Slattery again to Gillingham, but on loan.
Gillingham.
Gillingham. I'm reading it how I see it. Gillingham.
Understandable.
Yeah. Jake Vokins to Sunderland or Sunderland. Loan. Sunderland. Jan Valery to Birmingham loan. Shane Long, AFC Bournemouth loan. Didn't know that.
Hoping he comes back to us when his contract's out this summer.
Oh, fair enough then.
Hopefully.
And okay, so Tottenham going out, we have Jubril Okundina to Cambridge loan, Jack Clark to Stoke loan, Harvey White Portsmouth loan, Anthony Georgiou, AL Limassol, Brandon Austin to Orlando City loan, Shiloh Tracy Cambridge loan, Malachi Fagan Walcott, Dundee loan, Mauricio Pochettino. I was like, hang about
PSG loan.
Jesus. Maurizio Pochettino, yeah, that's what it says. Watford he went to. Troy Power Ipswich loan. Jonathan Debris, RWD Molenbeek. Jesus. Kazahi Sterling, Greenock Morton loan. Jack Rolls, Stevenage, which is just up road from where I am. Stevenage, which is cool. We went on loan. Paulo Gazzaniga to Elch on loan.
Is that the keeper?
What did you say, bro?
Gazzaniga.
To say anything, mate. I don't know what you're about.
Cancelled, mate. Cancelled.
Cancel culture's kicking in.
We're laughing at this, but I don't think either of us could do any better. I would be especially not very good at this.
It probably should have been Harry's. Harry's is a lot more, probably better at pronouncing these.
I can't do S's though. So.
Oh, okay.
Where's Alfie when you need him?
Owen Windsor, Newport, loan. West Brom. West Brom players. They've actually signed quite a few players, or got quite a few players. Robert Snodgrass, West Ham. Fair.
Yeah, fair enough.
Andy Lonergan. Andy Lonergan. Doesn't say where he went, just his name.
He went on loan again.
Did he?
Fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, someone understood it.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Huge play.
Fuck's sake. Okay. Yakuzlu to Celta Vigo on loan. I'm just going to power through. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Arsenal loan.
Oh, sorry, I'm still laughing at that.
Fair enough.
Sorry.
Players that had out: Owen Windsor to Newport loan, Charlie Austin QPR loan, Jonathan Band LA Galaxy. Ooh, that's cool. Kenneth Zahoa Millwall loan extension, Raheem Harper to Birmingham loan, Sam Phil Queens Park Rangers loan, Cedric Kipper, Charleroi. Anyone heard of that one?
No, I've not.
All right, we're almost there. West Ham.
Still chuckling.
Still looking at Harry. Harry's laughing. Right.
It's a perfect combination of stupid and brilliant, that joke.
That's right up your street as well, Harry.
Yeah, I love that. Love that shit.
Sums us up quite well.
True. Right.
Footy Fetish podcast. Stupid, but brilliant.
Stupid, but brilliant. West Ham United, Frederick Alves, Silkeborg. Zed Ben Harama, Brentford. Jesse Lingard, Man United loan, obviously. Out was Sebastian Haller, Ajax. Oh, this guy, right? Ajax, sorry. They forgot to register him.
They did.
In their
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
We've all done that on Football Manager at some point.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh no!
Apparently they're working with the UEFA though to try and basically get him in.
Oh mate, you can't. If you forgot, you forgot. If you didn't get him in, it's tough luck.
Yeah, I think they're trying to pull on the heartstrings a bit and go, come on, it was
COVID,
an obvious
COVID,
mistake. Oh yeah, coronavirus.
But yeah, no, they should face the repercussions of their mishap of admin. Obviously, we've just mentioned Robert Snodgrass to West Brom. Dan Kemp, Leighton Orient, Gonçalo Cardoso, so FC Basel. Winston Reid, Brentford. Oh, God. Oladapo Ofolayan to Bolton. Agialessi, Cambridge United. Moving into Wolverhampton Wanderers. William Jose, Real Sociedad on loan. That came in, by the way. Out, they had Ruben Vinagre for Famaliccio. Anyone know that team?
I didn't even really hear you, to be fair.
Famalicão. Probably got that wrong. Oscar Berg to Grasshoppers on loan. Sounds like an American team.
It sounds like a local Sunday league team.
Yeah,
it's a pub team. I'm just playing, Grasshopper.
Switzerland.
Sounds like the team I played for when I was about 10. Thanks for the Grasshoppers. Niall Ennis to Plymouth. John Kitolano to Odds BK. Ryan Gills or Giles, depending on how you pronounce G's, to Rotherham. Patrick Coutron to Valencia on loan. Terry Taylor, Bolton Avian. Roderick Mirando released. Jamie Pardington to Mansfield loan, Luke Matheson to Ipswich loan, and Mertian Shabani to VVVV Venlo. It actually says that.
It's a lot of these.
It's a lot of these. And that is the entire January transfer window.
There we go.
There's a lot
Well
of
done,
names.
Mark.
Right.
That was tough.
A lot of names that I very clearly butchered. I'm still claiming a 50-50 because there's a lot of English names in there that I
don't know what you're talking about, mate. That was spot on.
Fair enough. Every single name was correct. Some good deals in there, I think. Again, it's a January transfer window. There's not really much in there to be excited about. There's a few things, maybe. The Jesse Lingard move is pretty exciting. Actually seeing him play football is something else. But other than that, nothing really stood out. It looks more players went out than came in, which is probably makes sense for a January transfer window. But hopefully we can have a better summer transfer window, and
definitely
that's going to be very exciting, isn't it? It's going to be different.
Yeah, for sure.
Well.
I think there's going to be a couple of big names this summer. And especially it's going to be weird to see what the transfer market's like as well, because COVID is going to have quite a big impact on sort of people's values and everything, and be interesting to see if anyone picks up a right steal during the summer.
Yeah, I reckon there will be. There's going to be players who are going to be a lot cheaper than obviously originally priced before obviously the market was hit with that. But no, I think it should be quite interesting. It doesn't look like there's been much. No one wanted to make a move. No one, unless they had to, from the scenes of things. Understandably, obviously. So hopefully, a lot of clubs will be in a position to pull in a lot of players. Are you thinking about that bloody joke again?
I was looking at you, but I just looked down to see Harry.
Well, for the last 5 minutes, I've had my phone in front of Ollie's picture, so I didn't look at it and laugh. I was just taking it down, and it happened.
Oh my god! All right.
Okay.
It's probably all right. That's probably a good time to end the podcast, guys. Ollie, thank you again for joining us this week, helping us.
Thank you for having me. It's
That's
always a
all right.
pleasure.
Coming in on loan for the week.
Coming in on loan for the week to
On loan again.
Footy Fetish podcast. Thanks for coming in. Hopefully we'll get you back, get on again soon. And you are a good regular, and we enjoy having you. Harry, thanks for sort of co-hosting, bearing with me in the absence of our main host Alfie, who should be with us hopefully in the next few weeks. He is busy with some things, obviously exams and things coming up. So obviously he'll hopefully be around very soon, and we can have the normal lot with us again. But on that note, thanks for joining us, guys. I will see you all next week.
Like and subscribe.
Hit
that notication button. Follow on Instagram. All of that.
Boom.
Social